It's the Ron and Fez show, and he's back from Memphis. Fez Watley. Fezzy, how are you, buddy?
Hiya, buddies.
Nice to see you back from Memphis. Bald, but not blue today. That blue man thing wasn't supposed to stay forever?
No, the blue man thing was not forever when I had my head shaved and my whole head painted blue on Friday's show. Although, inside the ears, that took a little while to get out.
Yeah, because it was in there heavy, huh?
It was in there deep, and also, for some reason, the blue was sticking to any hair on my face, the little tiny stubble that was left on my face. It got in my eyebrows. So I had blue eyebrows for most of the trip to Memphis. Not to mention the fact that with my skin and my bald head, the blue on it, as much as I could get off, there was still stain there, where I had this light blue complexion and looked so much like a cancer patient.
You, my friend, were somewhat of a sport there the other day. You finally... on this. The last we saw you, you were doing a really bad mime act. By the way, the pictures are up on ronfez.net. And they're just, I can only say hideous. And for me, looking out the window to see the way you kept trying to work it, to try to pull some level of entertainment out of an abortion, it was somehow like trying to cheer up an abortion.
Yeah, and I really wanted to perform for the people, and the Blue Man Group themselves. I don't want a tourist coming down West 57th Street in New York going, that's the Blue Man Group?
Well, I can only ask you this. I have a feeling you've never seen the Blue Man Group perform, because somehow you had them confused with like a French mime that was stuck in a box. They don't work like that.
Yeah, I've only seen them like in computer commercials.
Well, they work with music, and they're kind of jugglers, and they're musicians, and it's a big show, Fezzy. It's a big Vegas show, bigger than life. It's like if Emerson, Lake, and Palmer were blue and didn't talk. That's the Blue Man Group.
Yeah, so what I just tried to do was to get stuck in a box, an imaginary box.
Yeah,
and that was all I had out there on West 57th.
Why, Elfish drunkenly slurred, and it was so bad that I bolted out the back before you guys could. I didn't not want to look at either one of you, because to me you were both covered with shame, and I didn't want to be seen with you. And I was thinking about this all weekend. I can't imagine, because it's one thing if it's all of us and Elfish, but when it's just you and Elfish, people look at you like you're some kind of dynamic duo.
Oh, yeah, I just get tied right in with them. People know I'm with him, and
right.
All of a sudden, not to skip ahead or anything, there was one point in the Graceland tour where he went where he wasn't supposed to go.
Of course.
You knew that was going to happen because he's just wandering drunk.
There's no way to talk to an alcoholic. You can't get an alcoholic to sit down.
And instead of anyone on the tour saying anything to him, it's like they're coming to me. He can't be there. Like I let my dog run loose or something.
Right.
So, so I'm just responsible just through association with him.
You should have one of those belts like the moms that have retarded kids so that when they run too far, you could just yank them back.
Yeah, I needed to reel him in just so many times.
All right, so when we last saw you, you were blue, Elfish was drunk, and you pretty much had to zip off, get a shower, and then to the airport?
Yeah, trying to get a shower, trying to get back to my house where there's a car waiting to take us to the airport.
With a foreigner tape.
Then, what happens is, I can't leave here. I've gotten as much blue off of me as I can. What happens is, at the last second, I realize they never gave me an audio recorder to take with me.
Good, well, we need that because we want to hear this stuff.
Yeah, well, that's another story to go along with that. Because, as I tried to use it in Memphis, none of our staff will answer the phone to show me how to use it. It was thrown to me from Danny from the O&A show as I'm trying to catch a plane downstairs.
It's record play. I mean, what country did you grow up in?
It was not working, and I had no one to help me. Then I find this out. As I'm trying to leave, Earl never booked a return flight from Memphis for Elfish. So I'm trying to get everything done as I'm trying to get to the airport.
Guilty as charged. This thing got so convoluted and so confusing and so mixed up. I was more concerned with getting Fez there and back. Somewhere along the way, I was like, I just completely got...
Well, why would you ever book a one-way anywhere?
No, what happened was I booked it as a package.
You thought he was going to die in Memphis.
Yeah, he thought he was trying to save me money. Then, let me thank you for this, Earl. Not only the flight that you booked for Elfish back from Memphis did it leave at 1 in the afternoon, where we barely have time to get through Graceland, and he's having a fit.
So you guys left New York, what time, 5 o'clock at night?
Yeah, 4:30 we were supposed to leave, yeah.
So by 1 in the afternoon, his trip was over and he was back on a plane.
Exactly.
So you gave him 12 hours in Memphis.
What we gave, it was the best available flight.
Oh, best available? Elfish flew back on AirTran Airlines?
Yeah.
AirTran, they call their first class business class. Earl, why was Elfish booked in business class with the free drinks on AirTran? Who's paying for that extra?
Whoa, wait a minute. I
That's only an extra $2.50 for you, normally, for those drinks.
Yeah, cha-ching? Who's running the cash register here?
I love the way you're grinning like a black Gomer Pyle, because if this would have happened to Opie, he would be hitting you with an axe right now.
I'm not grinning at all.
You're grinning and you got a shitty grin on your face.
Elfish got booked in first class for his return flight home. And it's all going on my credit card, Ronnie.
I grabbed the first available flight, the best available flight.
Oh, it was the best! Free jack for the retard!
Do that line again.
Oh, it was the best! Free jack for the retard!
If you want, I'll cough up the cash.
That's going on Soundboard Fez. All right, so, we keep leaping around. We got to get back. So you're in New York, catch the flight, everything's...
We get to the airport. Mm-hmm. We get on the flight to Memphis. Fortunately, and I'm thinking this is a plus at this point, we're not booked seating together. So, Elfish is one row exactly behind me, directly behind me. So I'm thinking, well, at least I'll get some peace and quiet on this flight.
Right.
No such luck. As soon as we sit down, I hear Nutsy trying to make friends with everybody in his row, and starts a game. Who's got the coolest ringtone on their phone? Who's got the coolest ringtone?
No way.
I swear to you.
Who the fuck would say that outside a 4-year-old?
Yeah, and on a plane where we're taxiing and all cell phones are supposed to be off.
Well, what was his cool ringtone? What the hell did he have?
He's got the TV theme from the Batman show.
Oh, you're not going to beat that.
Oh, I mean, he won. He won the competition.
I mean, unless somebody's got Inagata-Davida, he's going to win that one.
So he's trying to make friends. I just hear him talking their ears off, and I'm like, just leave me alone, annoy them.
Right.
For this 2-hour, 45-minute trip to Memphis. Next thing I hear from behind me, once we're in flight, me and him had to shave our heads. Yeah, we had to shave our heads today.
You must have felt like a fucking G.I. Joe size. I would be dying. Now, where were you each sitting? Were you on the aisle?
Oh, no, the nightmare middle seats. We both have a middle seat in two separate rows.
You got them bobsled middle seats. Fucking Space Mountain middle seats.
You're an ass.
No, wait a minute. I specified an aisle seat, number one, because I know you hate to sit near the window. That I do know.
Yes.
And I specified an aisle seat.
Oh, and guess what? I hate sitting in between the window and the aisle, too.
I specified an aisle seat.
I'd rather be on the wing than stuck in a goddamn aisle seat with my seat being kicked by Elfish behind me as he's comparing ringtones with adults.
Like, I know how...
Who's got the coolest ringtone? Who would even think of that?
It's the stupidest thing ever, and I'm living it. And all I can think of is, I'm bald, I'm still partially blue, and the nightmare hasn't even started yet. It's just beginning.
Where is security to let these two V from Vendettas get on the fucking plane? These son of bitches should have been stopped.
And then he's just ordering the jack. He is and drinking it right out of the tiny bottle.
First of all, that apple juice that he was drinking out of here was really a quart of Jack Daniels, believe it or not. I know he didn't sound drunk on the air, but he was fucking ripped. And I only found out later he had filled up the apple juice with Jack Daniels.
Yeah, so we're on this flight to Memphis, and I noticed on my ticket, Earl, you know how he takes care of me when it comes to booking this stuff, has ordered me a fat-free, cholesterol-free meal.
Right.
You know, thinking about my heart.
Yeah, nice.
No meal on this flight. There is no meal. I have not eaten all day. I get a lousy snack box where I eat the fucking wheat crackers and Snackwell cookies that were in it, and that was all I had for the day.
Well, in the middle, you don't really have enough place to cut food anyway, so you're better off with nothing. You're bald, you're blue, you're hungry, and a drunk is sitting right behind you.
Yeah, and I hear a woman in his row saying to him, Elfish, we need to get you another Jack.
They were hoping he would pass out. There's no such luck, kids.
And the big, dumb, goofy, retard 4-year-old Elfish that I'm traveling with, this is what I'm getting throughout the entire flight as I'm trying to go to sleep. His fat paw keeps squeezing between the seats because he wants to pound knuckles with me. We're on our way. Fezzy, we're doing it. We're going to Memphis. We're on our way to see the king. And the big fat fist keeps coming through the seat at me.
You know what happened to you, my friend? You were caught in a trap. You couldn't get out. Because you're stuck with Elfish, baby. I would have been losing it. I'd have stabbed him to death at this point.
Yeah, and as he's sticking that fat pork chop that he calls a hand through the seats, he won't pull it back unless I stop and pound knuckles with him. He won't pull it back.
This is the funny thing in life, right? You're both on the same flight. You both went through the same thing. You're having the worst time of your life. He's having the best.
It's all perspective.
It really is. You may want to take a little bit from him. Learn what it's like to live glass half full.
Oh, he was just living it up. This was the greatest thing. And then, of course...
Because it's spring break for him.
Right.
It's his first spring break in 100 years.
And I will say this the drunk would not quit saying thank you.
Well, thank you, fellas. That was the greatest trip of my life. Thank you, fellas. You know, it's like nobody wants to crawl through shit, right? Unless it's a sewer tube that's getting you out of a prison. And then you'll have your mouth open, crawling through there and giggling and laughing the whole way. So, of course, he thinks it's a great time.
So we finally get to Memphis.
So what are we talking, 3-hour flight?
Yeah, 3-hour flight because of any sort of delays or whatever. Been on the plane 3 hours. Because we took off a half hour late, too, from LaGuardia.
Were you sitting on the tarmac, or?
Yeah, sitting out there for a while.
Right, so that's my worst. I hate when they do that to me.
So we get to Memphis, and the snowstorm that the Northeast had yesterday hit Memphis hit Memphis on Friday as it was working its way up the corridor.
A town that's not used to heavy snows.
As they told us in Memphis, we haven't had snow in 3 years. Well, of course. Fez came to town, so let's make it a little bit more difficult. So we land in Memphis. It's snowing like a son of a bitch. It's probably about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. We're taxiing up to the gate. Everything's delayed in Memphis because of the big snowstorm. They don't have a gate for us to go to.
No.
We have to sit there on the tarmac and wait and wait and wait.
So what happens then is, like, you start taking your coat back off, then you're, like, unbuttoning your shirt, and then you're just ready to pull your own skin off.
Yeah.
Because you feel like, I've done the trip, I should be off, and yet I'm still sitting here in this Pringle can.
Right, yeah, and it's like the plane would just inch forward, like another foot or something, and you're like, okay, now we're going. And then dead stop. And then you'd wait another 5-10 minutes, and you'd get another foot and stop. So we finally pull into a gate.
And then you just hear a Batman ringtone behind you.
We're here, Ma!
Listen to it. It's Batman.
So we finally pull into a gate, and, you know, I'm such bad luck. That's how I got in this position in the first place, losing 9 weeks in a row of football.
Right.
We pull into a gate, and I just mentioned to the lady next to me, I said, now watch, the Jetway won't work. This is your captain speaking. The Jetway has malfunctioned.
No.
We can't get it to reach the plane. It's stopped, so we're going to have to sit here while they work on it. The lady sitting next to me, she goes, you are such a jinx. Yells at my face, basically. So then, that we're at a gate. we can't get off the plane because that little tunnel they pull up to it is just inches away from the plane door.
I would say I'll jump. I'll gladly jump.
So at this point now, and then they're like, all right, we would go to another gate, except all the gates are taken because planes aren't leaving. And they said, as soon as the plane leaves, we can take that gate. They're being de-iced as we talk about it. But the Memphis International Airport has run out of de-icing fluid to de-ice the planes.
Because it hasn't snowed 3 years.
Yeah, how did they know? It's all in rusty barrels out in a shed somewhere behind the runway. Oh, just a pain in the ass. So finally we got to another gate. Ronnie, an hour and 15 minutes after landing,
No.
I got off of this plane.
Holy fuck.
It took an hour and 15 frickin' minutes. So I'm trying to, so conversation is starting up on the plane and everything while we're waiting. And one guy says to me, what brings you to Memphis? And I'm like, you wouldn't believe it if I told you, sir. So I go through the whole story. I'm saying, so I was painted blue earlier. Now I've turned into Elfish at this point. And I go, yeah, I lost a bet on the Super Bowl, and I had to bring one of our retarded listeners to Graceland, one of our drunked-up listeners. And I hear, I heard that, from a row behind me as he's still wanting to pound knuckles with me.
Batman.
Oh, it was just so hour 15 on the plane.
And you still haven't eaten.
Oh, I still have not eaten. So
listen to this ringtone. That's my ringtone.
Oh, somebody's calling. Get that. Don't let them hang up. Then it's off to the Heartbreak Hotel.
Which was the big part of the trip where he wanted to stay.
That was the motel he insisted on staying in.
Now, is this all Elvis motif?
It's, you could get, like, specialized suites that are supposed to look like Graceland or something like that.
Right.
For the most part, it's a flea bag.
I know, and that road is not a nice street. It's
right, Elvis Presley Boulevard.
Yeah. I would tell you what kind of boulevard it is, but Earl's here. So what I would say is any other town, this would be called MLK Boulevard. But in Memphis, where MLK actually died, they don't fucking have that. They call it Elvis Presley Boulevard.
Yeah, so the Heartbreak Hotel is at the corner of Elvis Presley Boulevard and an alley that they put up a cute sign that says Lonely Street. Oh, isn't that fucking clever?
Elfish get a picture of that?
He had to. Yes, we had to walk out to the street and get a picture of that. So the Heartbreak Hotel runs an airport shuttle. We're waiting and waiting and waiting for that. We finally get on there, and Elfish, for some reason, is looking for drinks on the shuttle. Like it's the airplane, and a stewardess is going to come give him Jack Daniels. The shuttle bus driver shows him where a liquor store is. Elfish is trying to get this poor guy, whose only job it is to run between the hotel and the airport, to pull into the liquor store for a pit stop.
He may have a problem.
Yeah, and the guy is telling him, sir, I can't do that. I'm not allowed to make stops on the shuttle bus tour. We get there. We get checked into the room. I give him the bed that has the picture of Fat Elvis over it.
Nice.
Yeah. So then...
So you did have at least Elvis pictures.
Yeah, we did have Elvis pictures.
So there was no reason for you to stay in this joint. You could have been at a decent hotel.
Yeah, because any hotel in Memphis is going to have Elvis pictures in it.
That's true. What else are they going to have?
Yeah, so I'm just starving, and I'm telling Elfish, I've got to get something to eat. I've had 2 snack wells and some wheat crackers the whole entire day. I'm diabetic.
I understand that, Fezzy. I understand that.
Oh, yeah, he is a diabetic, too.
Yeah.
Only he doesn't care.
Exactly. So he insists, he goes, we'll get something to eat. He goes, but we got to walk down the street. We got to walk down Lonely Street back up to Elvis Presley Boulevard. So he can start getting pictures at night. He wants pictures of Graceland in the snow at night.
Beautiful.
And he's snapping pictures, and next thing I know, he's charging across Elvis Presley Boulevard with traffic coming.
Which is like, what, 6 lanes or something?
Yeah.
It's a pretty big street.
Yeah, it's a big highway there.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he's at the guardhouse talking to the guard, having the guard take his picture while I am just fucking freezing to death across the street. And I'm dizzy, and I'm hungry, and I'm just iced over.
Right.
Because it's still snowing in Memphis.
Right.
So we get up and down the road. We're looking for something to eat. I swear, I was screaming at him to take me to KFC. Let's just go into this KFC. Fuck the diet. Screw my stent. I will just eat anything at this point. So he's like, no, let's go to the Chinese buffet that was right there by the hotel.
Right.
We go walking back down frickin' through, and they're not clearing the sidewalks in Memphis. They're not used to snow.
They don't have plows.
Yeah. So we're walking. By the time we get back to the Chinese buffet, it's now closed.
Oh.
So I have missed this opportunity to eat. And I'm just losing it. I'm like, let's go to the bar inside the Heartbreak Hotel, the Jungle Room, so cleverly named, and let's see if we can get something to eat in there. Maybe they'll have some sort of happy hour buffet or something still going on.
So at this point, maybe it starts to turn happy for you. You're having a good time.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not at all. Not even close. It's getting worse. So what happens as we're walking back through the parking lot into the Heartbreak Hotel, I slip in the snow and just bite it on the pavement. I just go down. My hand's all cut up, my knee is killing me, and my head is just spinning.
Earl, why wouldn't you have snowshoes all lined up for him ready to go? Those tennis rackets.
I just have no response to any of this. This is all. I feel awful, Fez.
And in the meantime, I got Drunky McDrunkerton Elfish saying, nothing's going to happen to you while I'm around. I got your back. No one better start any shit with you out here on Elvis Presley Boulevard. I got your back. And I'm thinking, a breeze will knock you over at this point.
And the only person in Memphis that will do any harm to you is Elfish. That's the problem with that kind of guy.
So we get to the bar, and fortunately they have a menu, and I'm ordering a sandwich.
Right.
You know, and I've just decided, and he's ordering Jack Daniels. And everywhere he's ordering the Jack, we go through the same routine. The bartender goes, double Jack and Coke? And he's like, no, double Jack. You want any ice in that? No, just the Jack. And we go through the same routine with every bartender. So again, he's getting tumblers, like at the Hard Rock Cafe, tumblers of Jack Daniels.
Right.
And I said,
because a guy like that, he's not trying to enjoy a drink.
Right.
He's trying to kill the pain.
Yeah. And I know he hasn't eaten either, because he screamed at me the whole time we're on the plane to Memphis about Earl, because remember we had to go get him McDonald's on Friday?
Had a sack of burgers. He only eats burgers.
He only eats burgers, and he forgot his burgers in the studio. So he's screaming at Earl that Earl didn't give him his hamburgers before he left.
Had nothing to do with his food. What a drunk.
So I'm saying, well, order something to eat now. Order something to eat. I get this line. I eat when I eat. I eat when I eat.
The wisdom of the alcoholic.
Oh, yeah. So I'm like, fine. I go, I have to eat. I'm ordering food. I get my stuff, and I go up to the hotel room. I said, I'm tapping out. I can't do any more tonight. I'm tired. I'm starving. I'm taking my food up to the room. You stay in the Jungle Room bar and mingle.
Trying to find some kind of comfort for yourself and just get away from all the weirdness.
Yeah, just any of the madness. Because in the meantime, while we're sitting at the bar, there's all these fat, middle-aged women Elvis fans that look like Gladys Presley, every one of them, and they're all doing Elvis jokes. They're telling the bartender, they're ordering their drinks, and they're saying, now don't be cruel. And I'm just going, oh, God, I can't believe this is happening.
And when you're tired and hungry, everybody's face looks like a death mask to you.
Yeah, they're all monsters.
Right.
They all look like monsters at that point, and Elfish was fitting right in with them.
Yeah, that's road face. You see, everybody has road face to you. And it's all just like a horror. Like when Freddie Prinze couldn't hear the laughter anymore, and the faces just distort and start to go around in a circle.
So I get my food, I go upstairs, I eat my food, I'm getting into bed, I'm watching some TV, and I don't know how much longer later it was. Elfish is stumbling, he can't get his key in the door. So I just hear stumbling on the door, almost like he's walking on it. So I let him in, he comes staggering in, he's all drunk from his double jacks down at the Jungle Room bar. And he's looking around, and all of a sudden he just lets out, "Where's my hamburger?" And I said, "What hamburger? I thought you ordered me a hamburger." I go, "Remember, I asked you to order food." "I eat what I eat," was the response I got. So he thinks for some reason the bartender was supposed to know to get him a hamburger.
Well, Elvis would have had a hamburger waiting for him.
So I said my sandwich came with French fries. I don't eat French fries. You can have those fries if you want them.
Right.
So and then eventually.
At what point did you guys start selling curtain rods down, little shower curtain rods to try to make money?
We told the girls, the fat Elvis girls, they were earrings. So eventually, I'm asleep, and he's still talking to me. I can hear it.
Right.
He's still trying to have a conversation with me. I just fall asleep. Middle of the night, I gotta piss. I wake up, and I see he is now passed out across his bed, fully clothed, shoes still on, in a pile of my French fries. The French fries that I offered him from my meal are all over this bed. He's just rolling in them.
You know, when that happens to like an 18-year-old guy when you're on the road and you're drunk, it's funny. When you're Elfish, I'm just going to guess he's 106, it's kind of sad / disgusting. There's that, you can't even laugh at that. That's a problem.
Yeah, so it's like, and I just can't believe it. So I try to go back to sleep. I just leave him laying in his fried potato products there, because I'm not going to clean him up, that's for sure.
I was hoping he would have taken his shoes off, got the socks down,
and just tucked him in for a long winter's nap.
Or grabbed a knife off that tray and killed him.
So then, I think he's dying. Because he is passed out, he's on his back, and he is just sputtering like an old radiator conking out. He is coughing, he's hacking, he can't breathe.
Fez, that's known as the death rattle.
Yeah, that's what he had going.
That's the death rattle right before the breathing stops.
And while your face is red while you're sleeping, it really shouldn't be that much exertion that your face is turning red just to sleep.
Yeah, I saw him in here when he coughed the other day. He looked like a grape. Just a gigantic grape.
Then he starts talking in his sleep. He's just mumbling as I'm trying to go back to sleep. And at one point, I hear him yell out in the night, Daddy! And I'm just like, I'm going, no one's going to believe this. I go, I can't get Earl to answer the phone to teach me how to use the recorder. No one is going to believe this.
What kind of southern inbred yells out Daddy in their sleep?
And I don't know whether he thought he was Elvis in his dream, if something had happened to his own father in his dream. All I know is Daddy!
Probably a fucking sex dream.
So that was the nightmare that ended Friday night.
Right.
So Saturday, we have to get a...
Yeah, I mean, we're not that long into the trip.
Yeah, this is just day one. This is still the same day that I was shaven and painted blue. This is all happening in the same 24-hour period for me.
All right, scale of 1 to 100. How well would you say that day went?
1.
Really?
1 being the lowest, right?
No, you remember, you've had a heart attack before.
I would take Heart Attack Day, November 10th, a million times over than that Friday.
Wow.
Than Friday, February 10th.
How about 9/11?
9/11 I would welcome.
Wow.
Compared to what happened February 10th in my life.
Might be a little self-centered there. All right, so...
Yeah, that was the 3rd anniversary of my heart attack, and that's how the 3rd month anniversary of my heart attack. That's how I celebrated it.
You woke up to the smell of Jack sweat and fries.
And cigarette smoke, because he just smokes like a chimney.
In the room?
No, he had to go downstairs, but it just lingers on him.
Right. So you're dealing with that first thing when you wake up. You wake up, you're not home, you don't have all your stuff.
I have no idea where I'm at when I wake up. It's been such a weird day.
Yeah, you're not in your comfortable bed, you don't have your computer, your TV, your stuff. You're on the road now with an alcoholic.
Yeah, so I know, and we got to get up early because we have to get in that first tour of Graceland because Earls booked him on the 1 p.m. flight home, and I still have to get him to the airport an hour before that, so that's noon I have to have him there.
What a waste of money not to at least spend some time in Memphis. There's Beale Street, there's all kinds of things to do there. You stay an extra night, and the Reverend Al Green actually does a service that you can go watch. It's amazing. And yet, this thing, and you would have been better off peeling off $2,000 and handing it to the guy than what you went through.
Oh, yeah, totally. And, and I think I'm up to $3,000 at this point, too, because he didn't have a flight booked home, so that went on the credit card and everything else, and the Graceland tickets and stuff for the Platinum Tour we had to take. That includes the car museum and the Lisa Marie jet.
So, well, you don't want to go all the way there and not walk through the Lisa Marie jet.
I could do without it.
I did it when I was there, and that's the fastest tour in history. It's like 8 steps, and you're back out on the street.
So we get up early. I don't know how he came to, but I got him up early.
He does it every day of his life. That's the thing. For you, this is a crazy day.
Right.
For him, it's a Friday. It's no different than if he was at home, he'd be that drunk.
So we got up early enough that we had to be at the ticket window at 9:30 for the 10 o'clock tour. That was the first tour of Graceland. Mm-hmm. So we're up early enough, so we got to check out of the hotel because we won't have time to come back. And we're checking our bags. They're putting them in a storage closet so we don't have to carry them through Graceland. And I'm like, Elfish, we got time. Do you want to get some breakfast? I eat when I eat. I eat when I eat. So there's no breakfast. So we go walking up and down in front of Graceland again, waiting for the box office to open.
So you've already checked out of the hotel?
Yeah.
You're carrying your bags around?
We were able to check them there. So when I check out of the hotel, this is what happens. They hand me the bill for the hotel. And they're like, do you want to keep it on the credit card? Yes. I'm looking at the bill, and she goes, you had a bar tab as well. Do you want to keep that on the credit card? And I'm going, I know I paid the bartender cash for my sandwich and the drinks. I know I did. So I'm looking. Nutsy. When I left him in the Jungle Room bar and went back to upstairs to have my sandwich, remember that part of the story?
Yes, sure.
Nutsy kept ordering drinks and signing the room number to the tab.
Free drinks. And you probably ended up buying one of those old skanks, some Jack and Coke, too.
Oh, yeah, because I know he was trying to hit on those girls. He was trying to talk to those fat skanks.
Now, we've all done that on the company card before, but you don't do it to your buddy's card while he's sleeping.
Yeah, and so he's going, oh, yeah, I may have had another few drinks after you went upstairs. He's trying to, explain it, could this have happened? Maybe it happened. I'm not really sure if it happened.
Yeah, because he probably isn't. He probably blacked out somewhere in the middle of being in the studio the day before.
So now I have that bar tab to pay as well, and I'm like, yes, keep it on the credit card. Then we're walking up and down in front of Graceland, and I keep hearing the same stories over and over again. Apparently his parents took him to Graceland in 1979, 2 years after Elvis died.
Right.
Before there was a tour. The house wasn't open up to the public yet.
It was somebody was living there.
Sure. And I keep hearing the same story over and over again, how he was there outside the gates of Graceland and saw Ray Davies of the Kinks. And if I heard the story once, I heard it 4,000 fucking times. Over and over again.
Ray Davies from the Kinks is not going to be peeking through someone's fucking yard. This idiot just sees some British guy and decides he's from the Kinks.
And I keep hearing, the Lisa Marie, the jet, is sitting right there, like at the Graceland Welcome Center. It's right there on the street. You can see it. So we haven't taken the tour of it yet, and I keep hearing the story of how once Elvis flew everyone to Denver just for peanut butter and banana sandwiches. I keep hearing that story over and over again, and how he can give this tour better than any tour guide that they could possibly have.
Right.
As I'm just getting Elvis facts over and over again. So, it's finally time to take the tour. I've waited and waited.
You got to take a bus up there or something from the front gate or something?
Yeah, you go from the Welcome Center, which is across the street.
Right.
And they drive you across the street right up to those gates, that have the musical notes and Elvis's image on it and stuff. And then you go in those gates and right up to the front door of Graceland.
Yeah.
So, as we're getting on the shuttle bus and we're going through the gates of Graceland, he starts shaking. And he's trembling. And the hands are going a mile a minute. And he's constantly telling me now, I'm going to lose it, Fizz. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle this. I'm going to lose it.
He's that excited about going up to Elvis's house.
That excited, that emotional.
Like it was the Vatican or something. Like he was an old Italian lady and he's going to the Vatican.
Yeah. So we're on that first tour, so we can hurry up and get to the airport. We get in there, and now they got, like, headsets on you and a little recorder that everyone carries.
Yeah.
So the people don't have to talk. You get a much more detailed tour in your headphones.
Right.
And they tell you when to move to the next room and stuff like that. So he's just all glisten. His eyes are all welling up and everything as we walk through the front door. And I'm just trying to keep it moving. You can then, once you're in there and they give you your instructions, you can go through at your own pace and start and stop the recorder.
Right.
You know, wherever you're at for the tour. And he's just trying. You can take pictures as long as it isn't a flash. And he's taking a picture of every little thing he can see. And we're in there, and the next thing you know, I'm being grabbed by my shirt collar to come see this over here.
Right.
And everything. So we're making our way. We got to the jungle room and the TV room and the dining room and everything else. We start to head out back where they take you to Vernon, his father's office.
Right.
You get to go out back there. We're in the middle of the tour, in the middle of Graceland. He says, I can't take it anymore. He pulls out the cell phone, which you're not supposed to have on.
The Batman cell?
The Batman cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
He's dialing up his mother and loses it in the middle of Graceland. He starts crying in the middle of Graceland. He can barely talk to his mom, and I hear, I'm inside. Mom, I'm here. I'm in his house. I'm in his house. That's what it was. I'm in his house. I'm in his house. And that's all I can hear.
Oh, my God.
And there's other people on this tour. And I'm just, like, trying to distance myself. I'm ready to jump over the ropes into Elvis's pool just so people don't realize that I'm with him, even though we're both bald because he had his head shaved, too.
Wow. I can't believe, A, he would be crying like that. And B, the only person he has to call is his mom. That's the only chick that he could call. I'm in his house.
I'm in his house. I'm here. I'm in his house. So then, it's like, if that's not bad enough, then we go to the racquetball court and everything else, where he died, I think.
No, he died up next to the toilet. He was playing racquetball the day before. But the racquetball court is where they have the suits and everything, right?
Yeah. A lot of his huge suits, the jumpsuits with the capes, the later year jumpsuits, a lot of his gold and platinum records and everything, all kinds of Elvis personal stuff in there.
Right.
So then, oh God, then it's time for the gravesite. As you go into Meditation Garden, out behind Graceland.
Oh, yeah.
And then he is just losing it all over again. He's I got him kneeling down at the grave and everything.
Yeah.
I've got pictures that we'll send to Mikey Boy.
Right.
And get them up on ronfez.net. So I've got a lot more pictures than are up already.
People have already written to me that he's got his pictures up there, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he's sobbing at the grave, huh?
He is sobbing at the grave. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get him to the airport. He's going to miss this, but he's such a mess now.
Right.
You know, he's still drunk from the night before, and I'm not going to be able to get him to the airport. And it's like, and I'm just trying to rush him through everything, because then we did the car museum.
Right.
And he's got to stop and talk to people there, you know, other tourists. Like they're interested in his little Elvis factoids. And I'm just trying to rush him through the Lisa Marie jet and everything, just to get him to the frickin' airport. So that, and then he's so upset that, you know, he called his mom, and he's like, and then has the nerve to say, I didn't think I was going to make it through there. You didn't make it through there! You had 2 meltdowns at least that I counted, where you completely lost it.
I mean, how hard was he crying? Sobbing?
It was all coming down his face, yeah. And
gasping for air?
Yeah, bright red, and, you know, needing a moment to himself. That whole Linda Richman, I'm feeling verklempt thing.
Right.
So he's totally going through that experience, just emotional as can be.
Fucking hayseed.
Yeah, just buying into every gimmick that they had going at Graceland. Every gimmick. I ended up buying his mom a Graceland coffee mug since she didn't get to take the trip. And that about got the waterworks started all over again. I should have known better.
What's a fucking Graceland coffee mug look like?
It's a big, fat ceramic mug, and it's got the picture of a portrait of Graceland on one side, and then the story of Graceland on the back.
And that thing will be filled up with Jack and the two of them sitting over it with straws, just sucking it down like it was moonshine.
So we get back to the Heartbreak Hotel, we get the airport shuttle, we get our bags, we're headed to the airport, And next thing I know, it's only me and him on the shuttle because no one else is leaving Memphis, leaving Graceland at 11:30 in the morning.
So basically, you didn't even have him 24 hours in Memphis.
No, not even close.
What a waste of money.
Tell me about it. So then we're driving back to Memphis airport, and I hear him telling the Heartbreak Hotel shuttle driver how much he hates that bitch Priscilla Presley.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, why is this going on? And then I hear the story how they flew the Lisa Marie to Denver for peanut butter and banana sandwiches again. And I hear the Ray Davies story one more frickin' time. And I'm like, I'm so excited because
he's going to be gone.
Yeah, and we're on 2 different flights. He's flying back to Baltimore.
Right.
He lives in Maryland. I'm flying back to New York. And I'm like, I can part company with him.
Right.
All I have to do is get him checked in on AirTran. Lord knows he was in first class. He would have been more excited to get on the plane. So I get him checked in. He's fine. I'm like, all right, I have to go to, Terminal B. You're going to Terminal C. Take care, big man. All right, see.
Right.
Can I hang out with you for a while? I got a while before this flight. Can I hang out with you? And so then he's following me down to the airport. I'm trying to check in for my flight, and for some reason, my stuff isn't coming up on the computer screen. You know, at the self-check-in?
Yeah.
Where you put in your credit card? And I can't figure out what the hell's going on, why I can't check in. I go to the ticket window. I'm being sent from one airline to the next, Delta to Northwest, back and forth. People are trying to figure out what flight I'm on. My flight to New York is canceled. First class going to Baltimore, that's on time and actually gets in early. My flight back to New York is canceled.
Now, you're trying to beat a blizzard to New York, too.
Exactly, because of the weather.
Right.
So what happens is I have to book another flight. I get on the Delta phone or whatever that they have standing there. I'm online with a ticket agent. Now what happens is, as if, all I had to do was get on a plane, as scary as that is for me, and
Right.
this is done.
It's over.
My obligation is done. I had already shook Fat Ass's hand and said, "Are we square? Are we done? I
made
owe
him
you
swear.
nothing." Yeah, I made him swear that I do not owe him one more thing from this fucking bet.
So he's having the time of his life, and all you want to know is that it's all over.
Yes.
You had soup and a salad. That's a meal.
I just want it to be done, and it's not. And he's like, "I feel really bad for you, Fuzzy. Your flight got canceled." And I'm like, "Please, just go get on your plane. Please go get on your plane."
Go get on your plane, have free steak and jack.
Right. So then it turns out, for some reason, I can't fly from Memphis to New York, because that flight's canceled.
Right.
I do get this deal, though. I can fly from Memphis to Detroit, and then from Detroit to LaGuardia, with the agent on the phone warning me there is a very good chance you are going to get stuck in Detroit because the blizzard's coming in. It's Saturday, it's going into Saturday evening at this point. By the time I would have gotten to New York.
All right, what did your producer, Earl, say when you called him?
No, I still hadn't gotten a return call from how to work the tape recorder. So
Try and record. All right, so the good news is, the bad news, of course, you don't have a producer.
right.
The good news is, Motown, Berry Gordy, a chance to make this rock trip of yours just more and more interesting.
So I get on the plane, we fly to Detroit, and I'm just a nervous wreck at this point.
Because you're worried about the blizzard that's taking over the whole country.
Right, and I know if we're going to beat the blizzard into New York,
Yeah.
going to Michigan first probably isn't the fastest way to beat it. And I'm scared, and I hate flying. I hate it with a passion. And now I have an extra flight on my day.
Right.
I've got to go from Memphis to Detroit and to Detroit to New York's LaGuardia. So I get on the plane to Detroit. We get in there, and I have just barely minutes to get from A78 gate in Detroit to A30, because Detroit's airport is just gigantic. I've never been there before.
So you never got a chance to run over and see Motown Studios?
Oh, no, I did not.
Were they playing any music in the airport? Anything that you could bop along to?
Nothing. With the snow in Detroit, and it's just, the snow is pouring in Detroit, too. So I had, it could have been any city, USA, in the north.
No, Music City, USA. Is that Detroit or is that Memphis?
That's Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah. So as I get to my gate, that's the plane leaving from Detroit to New York, I notice that everyone is just about boarded. I almost missed that flight. I came so close to missing that one. Then I get on that flight, and the snow is just coming down in Detroit, and the captain comes on, and he's saying, "Oh, we're going to try to sneak into New York before that blizzard hits. Just going to tell you now, it's going to be bumpy. It's, yeah, we're going to have a lot of turbulence trying to get into New York because of the snowstorm, and expect us to have to circle for a while. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to land if the snow gets too heavy, but we're just going to try it and see what happens." This is the message! This is the intercom message I'm hearing! He goes, "So we're going to try to get all boarded and get out of here as fast as we can. Like we're trying to make a getaway from a bank robbery." So then we're on the plane, and 2 minutes later he comes back on, "We got to de-ice." And all I'm thinking of, I just saw the Ebersol family on the Oprah show, and they didn't get de-iced properly, and that's what caused that crash.
Yeah.
And I've never been de-iced before. I've been de-pants, but I've never been de-iced. And I have no idea what this entails, and is it going to work? And is the ice so bad? What if there's a chunk that they miss, and, that brings the plane down, the wings pitch?
You worry a little bit when you fly.
Oh, I hate flying. I hate flying with a passion. So we get de-ice and we take off.
By this time, let's remember, Elfish is already home and handed his mom a mug that he claims he bought.
Yeah, and got free drinks in first class his whole trip there. He actually gets there. Weather has delayed airports across the country.
Right.
One airport affected another one across the land. And somehow he gets in early on his flight. And then we're going. It's been a decent flight so far. I'm scared to death. You can't see out the windows. I don't know what the pilots are doing. There's no visibility. We're taking off in a storm, flying to another storm.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the turbulence they talked about, we just hit it like it's a frickin' wall. We have one of those nice drops out of the air and stuff. And the gay flight attendant is, "Remember that turbulence we told you about? This is it, baby." And it's like you just want to
gay bashing.
You just want to choke him for enjoying it. And then
it makes his balls tickle. He's having the time of his life.
And then we just bounce around in the air for the rest of the flight. And finally, yes, we got into New York's LaGuardia Airport. And I think I probably beat the heavy storm by, maybe 45 minutes an hour. If that.
Or else you'd still probably be there.
Yeah.
Which would be hysterical if you were in Detroit this morning.
Yeah, because then everything immediately shut down. And nothing's flying on time yet. Mm. And that is my hideous trip to Graceland.
Well, Fez, I'll say this. You drove us crazy with the bets, but I feel like you did your penance here.
Well, I tried to stop and think. I tried to, if there was any positiveness that I could get out of it. Instead of just going, "This is a nightmare, this is awful, I'm going to die."
Right.
Throughout the entire trip. I'm thinking, well, at least tell your conscience this. You did a nice thing for somebody. He never would have been able to take this trip without you. And then I'm thinking, no, you did a good thing for a very bad person. There's no way this is going in any sort of karma bank for you.
Sure it is. He's got a soul.
He's
drunk.
He's an awful person, and instead of doing something good for a good person, I did something good for a bad person. If anything, that should rack up more bad points for me.
Well, it's not that you did anything good. You just paid off your gambling debt.
I've rewarded the evil, the drunk and the evil on this planet.
Well, his mom has a nice coffee mug, and she wouldn't have had that without you.
Yeah. Because I asked, did you get your mom anything? I got her this keychain. And I'm just thinking, yeah, your mom drives a lot.
All right, let's take a break here, Fez. You're home. You're safe and sound. Everything's good now.
And I am paid up.
Yeah.
I am paid up.
And Earl, you feel good about everything?
I feel miserable.
Why?
I feel miserable.
Yeah.
I hate to see Fez go through this hell.
Yeah.
It's just... Because
you didn't enjoy throwing coals on top of it?
No, we did everything possible to make this trip
it's we again
comfortable Well, I did. Okay. You know what? I take that back. I did everything possible to make this trip as comfortable as possible, and every possible scenario where it could go wrong went wrong. I feel awful.
And here's what I feel bad about, because if I had kept this bet going one more week for the Pro Bowl, I would have gotten stuck with the NFC, because I know he wanted the AFC with his beloved Steelers.
Right.
I would have won the Pro Bowl bet, NFC 23, AFC 17.
And that would have been the end of it.
And it would have been done if I had gone one more week.
You would have been sitting here with a full head of hair, an extra $3,000, and you would have had a nice, relaxing weekend, instead of probably feeling as wired as you do today.
Oh, I don't know if I'll ever calm down again.
No, you got to calm down.
I will never have another good weekend remembering the weekend I spent in Memphis and Detroit.
That is a music turn of events there, Fez. You couldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah.
That's American music history. You hit them both.
I got Elvis and Motown all in one trip.
You can't beat it. You should have went to Haight-Ashbury, checked out the Grateful Dead. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back and get the show started. It's Ron and Fez.